Santos are one of the biggest clubs in Brazilian football history, producing players like Pelé and Neymar. They have also won a plethora of trophies, 22 of their state championships to be exact, 8 of the top division of Brazil, and also 3 CONMEBOL Libertadores. Santos are a massive club, but for the first time in their 112-year history, Santos have been relegated to the second tier of Brazil. So today, we're going to be taking things back to the roots of the club, developing youth players, signing players under the age of 18, and using the fantastic youth academy here at Santos to rebuild Santos to champions of Brazil and maybe even Libertadores champions as well. We've got 5 years to do it, so strap yourselves in and watch how we rebuild Santos to the best team in Brazil. Well, as I mentioned in the intro, there is 2 major leagues in Brazil, and kicking things off is the States League, the state championships which Santos take part in the Campeonato Paulista Sicredi, and they have won that as recent as 2016 and 2015, 2012, 11, 10. You can see what a massive club they are, and they are still in this competition, the top tier of this competition. I believe it is based in Sao Paulo, this one. They've got clubs like the Corinthians, like Palmeiras, like Santos, like Sao Paulo, all in this one. But the one they have been relegated from in real life is the Campeonato Serie A, which is absolutely heartbreaking because, like I said, this is the first ever time they have not been in the top tier of Brazil in their 112-year history, which is absolutely gutty. You've got some massive clubs in here like Atlético Mineiro, Botafogo, Corinthians, Cruzeiro, Flamengo, Fluminense, Grêmio, Internacional, Palmeiras, Sao Paulo, and it just feels wrong that a club like Santos are not here. Now in the Brazilian second division, there is some half-decent teams. You've got a team like Chapecoense, we've got Goiás, we've got Ituano, we've got Juventude. They're teams that we would have seen fluctuate in and out, but Santos have never been here. So I suppose one thing we've got to do is tick off a brand new trophy, and winning the Brasileiro Sporting Bet Serie B trophy for the first time in Santos' history. We've also got the Copa Betano do Brazil, which is a bit like their cup competition here in Brazil, and Santos have not won that since 2010. So it's a club which, since 2021, they were last in the final of the Libertadores, which they lost in the final to Palmeiras, but since before that, it's been a bit of a rough spell for Santos. Not many trophies being listed, and you think they are one of the biggest clubs in the world. That is absolutely heartbreaking. They have got one thing on their side, and that is some fantastic facilities. A 5-star youth recruitment, 3-star youth facilities, 4-star training facilities is a massive helping hand, especially for a rebuild like the one we're going to be doing today, where we are going to be signing players under the age of 18 only. That is all we can sign. Other than that, is through players through our youth academy, which is going to be great fun, a very interesting and difficult challenge. Now, if we actually look through the team, there is some fantastic wonder kids to kick things off here at Santos. We've got Suaza, the left winger, who looks absolutely brilliant. Marcos Leonardo, who is heavily regarded one of the wonder kids of Brazil. We have transfer listed him because he wants to leave the club. We'll get through that bit in just a minute. Luca Moreles, we've got João Victor, João Elenciar, Keviason, who is a left back, Gian Bernardo Jair, who is a 6'7" Brazilian centre back who looks absolutely fantastic with 19 jump and reach, Gabriel Polani, Piatti, and Sandri, all of 4.5-star and 5-star potential. As you check out the reserves, there is no one in here but the under 20s. There is some more wonder kids in here as well, and with that fantastic youth recruitment, I am sure we're going to find some absolute studs to come into this team and be absolute game changers. Now, in terms of the dynamics, obviously there is a lot of players that are unhappy with being relegated to the second tier of Brazil, and they all want to leave. So Dodi, João Paulo, João Basso, Jean Lucas, Marcos Leonardo, Alfredo Morelos, Yerson Soteldo, Joaquim, and Gabriel Bontempo all want to leave the club. So we are putting them all up to the transfer list. We have got offers in for them all, and I've accepted them all, but some of them aren't going to leave just purely based on FM. They're just not going to get out the door, which is frustrating because for the first season, we are going to have probably one of the best wonder kids in Brazilian football, Marcos Leonardo, in the second tier of Brazil, which is going to be a bit of a joke, but it is what it is. I would expect that regardless of who we have in this team, we should be able to get out of the second tier of Brazil pretty easily. Now, what we're going to do here with this simulation is come back twice a season because the state championships go on till April, and then the full league kicks in from April to December. So we're going to start things off here at the start of Jan, go forward to the middle of this season. We'll see how we've done in the state championships. We're We're against a lot of clubs which are in the top tier of Brazil, playing against the likes of Sao Paulo, Palmeiras, Corinthians. What can we do against them? Let's get into it. The middle of season number 1. And I think this league table just shows what a good side Santos have and how it is really an absolute fall from grace that they are no longer at the top tier of Brazil. We have come third in this league behind Sao Paulo and behind Palmeiras, but above a team like Corinthians, the Red Bull team in Brazil as well, Ituano, all teams in the top tier of the Brazilian league. We have come above, but we are not there next season, which is absolutely heartbreaking stuff in terms of how some players performed. We have managed to get rid of a lot of players, and we have locked in a few wonder kids to play games like Swaza, straight away 14 games and 5 goals locked into that position. Jair is our star centre-backs, but someone like Marcos Leonardo hardly played due to injury, is wanted by a lot of clubs, so still might be leaving the door. Now the transfer window is open for this whole January to April spell as well, so some of the players that we showed earlier on might have already left. Let's have a quick look. We have got rid of a lot. Luis Felipe, Basso, Dodi, Morelos, Paulo, Lucas, Joaquim, Barriero, Correa, Breno, Victor Michel, Joao Lucas, Messias, and Felipe Jonathan have all left the club. We have made one signing. That is Roiner Benitez, who is an 18-year-old Colombian striker with 5-star potential. Looks very, very good. Finding players like this is going to be difficult, and the way we're doing it is by setting up the recruitment focus that I show you guys for under 21s. It's the exact same, but for under 18s. If you've not seen that video, it is called the Ultimate Scouting Guide. It is on the channel, basically set up scouting all across the world and try and find wonder kids. We're hopefully going to find a lot of them throughout this save from all over the world, and our scouting range is going to be absolutely wild. So we'll see who we can bring over this. It's going to be good fun. Obviously, a lot of them are going to be regens and not available to pick up on your save, which is a little bit annoying, but hopefully you can see the gist of what we are doing and hopefully find some stars like we are. But a very successful start in the Campeonato Paulista Secreti. Sadly, the final does not include us. It is Palmeiras v Sao Paulo, but hopefully now we can get into the Serie B and dominate this league. I want to see invincibles. I want to see us smashing it and hopefully straight away back into the top tier of Brazil. And as expected, that is exactly what we have done. We have lifted the second tier of the Brazilian trophy for the first time in Santos's career. Now, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but we have won the league and it's something to celebrate. Back into the top tier of Brazil is massive and it is much needed as well. Marcos Leonardo, of course, was fantastic in this team. In this division, he is way too good. He does still want to leave the club, but we've only had offers from teams in Brazil. Now, I'm a bit unlikely to sell to a Brazilian team, especially one like Cruzeiro and Atlético Mineiro, which I think we can go ahead and beat. I mean, someone like LA Galaxy, I'd be willing to sell to, but any of the other Brazilian teams, I feel like it's a bit of it doesn't make sense to sell to them, so we're not going to be doing that unless we get an offer which is unrefusable. But hopefully he doesn't move somewhere in Brazil. You never know, maybe he stays for the next 5 years and becomes a Santos legend. Now, we've also showed how good we are by coming in the semi-finals of the Copa Betano do Brasil. Now, we lost 8-3 on aggregate, losing 7-1 in the away leg against Flamengo, which is an absolute battering, and Gabigol decided to show up for that game, so they did go ahead and win that against Coritiba and won that now 3 times in a row. Flamengo, a absolutely top side which we got battered by, but I'm very happy with how this first season has gone. We've showed ourselves to be good in our state championships. We've got to the semi-final of the Brazilian Cup, and then we've also won the league in the second tier of Brazil, which I know is not anything to be too proud about. In terms of goals, Marcos Leonardo was an absolute bagsman. Lucas Braga is a 28-year-old striker who decided to score lots of goals as well. Jefferson Sotieldo, 13 goals and 14 assists. This guy looks fantastic on this year's FM. Great dribbling, flair, acceleration, pace, passing, technique. Looks brilliant. Again, is way too good. So we'll be leaving the club, I imagine, although now we're in the top division. Maybe not. Piatti, who I believe is Santos through and through, looks absolutely brilliant. Great flair, finishing, dribbling, first touch, pace as well. He looks absolutely brilliant. Now, you'll have to bear with me as, of course, I don't follow Brazilian football very much. Some of these players might be absolutely hated by the Santos fan base, and I do apologise if I have stuck them in and made them fantastic. But someone like Jair, with 20 jumping reach, 6'7", is going to play lots of games for me. He has scored 10 goals and 2 assists in 51 appearances and was brilliant this season at centre-back. So big respect to him. And Swaza, who we locked in at the left-wing position, seems to be progressing quite nicely. Just 18 years of age. Sadly, can't finish, but great determination, great pace, technique, crossing, dribbling, first touch. Hopefully will develop as things goes on as well. 6 goals and 6 assists for him. Sandri was fantastic. Junior Caqueria was also fantastic. And of course, we are developing players very well, which is good to see because that is the whole point of this rebuild. We've got these fantastic new facilities. We might as well try and use them. We've had, of course, some fantastic players come from the academy. Bruno Benitez was the one we signed ourselves. Mario, Adamilson, and Bororo as a young Brazilian goalkeeper is massive to get in the door. for, and Jemson Toloi as well. So some wonder kids coming through, which is fantastic to see, but we're not going to be spending too much time on transfers in this one, or Youth Academy, because they're all going to be unknown players. I'll pretty much just show you how good they are rather than show you each individual transfer. But we're using a 4-2-3-1, and that's what we use this season as well, the overachieving 4-2-3-1, which you use a hell of a lot because it's very good and it's very fun to play with as well. It's a goalkeeper and defend in goal, and I'm not going to go through the tactic and break it down, but if you guys want to see that, feel free to go ahead and watch that video, which is on the Sort It Out SI channel. I'll try and remember to link that one down below. But we're going to have some good fun with this tactic and develop it over the 5 years as well. But I'm rambling, and we need to get some transfers in for our return to the top tier of Brazil, which means we can get back into the continental competitions as well. The Sudamericana, the Libertadores. It'll be great to win both of them in these 5 years, as well as win in the top tier of Brazil. So let's get into it. What can we do transfers wise for season 2? Well, believe it or not, signing 18-year-olds and finding them that are good enough for a club like Santos is very, very difficult. We've made just one signing this summer, and that is Thomas Dietz, who is an Argentinian central attack midfielder who looks very good, very well-rounded, but he's going to come in and be a backup in our central attack midfield position. Finances here at Santos are going to go absolutely crazy over the next 5 years. As we started this off in, December in 2023, we had £20 million in the bank. We're already up to £47 million in the bank. There is £25 million in debt, which is going to get cleared very, very quickly, because we've also got £25 million to spend on transfer budget and £300,000 in wages, which we are simply not going to spend. So we might end up becoming the best team in Brazil, while also making them massively rich and developing lots and lots of wonder kids. Now, this time around, I've gone through and made the full team for you guys to see. We've got João Paulo in goal, who I believe was out on loan for the first season at Fluminense, if I'm correct. I am indeed, but is now back at Santos and is hopefully going to be a good goalkeeper for us now we are in the top division. We've got Nathan, the fantastic young fullback. Again, this guy is brilliant on this year's FM. We're going to see him progress very, very well. Attacking right back, bit of a Dani Alves build, so we'll look to see him. Alex Nascimento is a 25-year-old centre back next to Jair. Keviason, again, these guys, maybe you'll be able to sign them on your save in Europe or wherever you are doing your save. This guy looks like a fantastic young Brazilian left back, consistent, 5-star potential, and looks outrageous, just 20 years of age. Is wanted by Cortiba. He's not going anywhere. He is going to be our superstar for our left back for this save. We've got Rogerio Fernandez and Gabriel Perini in the central midfield roles, of Piatti at right wing, Jefferson Soteldo at left wing, Suaza at left wing, Soteldo in cam, and Marcos Leonardo as our striker still, as he is only wanted by Brazilian clubs still, and I'm not going to let him go to someone else in Brazil. Adamilson Boro, the 16-year-old for the academy, is here as our backup goalkeeper, as is JP Chamont. Derek Robson, Reis, João Maria, Vinicius Sanquiolo, Sandri, Jemison Toloi, Bernardo, Rodrigo Cesar, and Roinia Benitez are our backups. There is so much potential here already, just bursting at the seams in Santos. It is hard to keep a track of how many unbelievable players are just coming through this academy, and we're going to just have by the end of this a whole squad of just absolute superstars. It's already a very, very big squad, and I'm going to have to try and, that's why we only signed Thomas Dietz this summer, because there's so many wonder kids. It's hard to keep track on who is who. But we're going to go into our state championships again in the Campeonato Paulista Sicredi and see what we can do in this one. The goal is obviously to try and win that one as well over these 5 years. How many times? We'd start to do a couple of times as well would be great. But obviously we're back in the top tier of Brazil and in the Brazilian Cup competition again. But we'll bring you back in the middle of season 2 to see how we done in the Paulista Sicredi. Before we do check out these results, obviously this save file is available for you guys on Patreon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the start of season 1 in as well for anyone looking to pick up a Santos save. Obviously when you load up FM, they are not relegated. I had to do a little bit of dodgy results and play a 1 at the back formation to get them relegated. So we obviously were able to do this save. And if anyone's looking for a database where Santos is relegated, that will also be on the Patreon, along with the end of season 5 file. Anyone that supports on Patreon, your name is on screen right now, and you are absolute legends as well. You are helping my dreams come true of creating content. You know, you lot are literally, I couldn't say how grateful I am for you lot on Patreon. So a massive thank you to you lot. If you want to help out on the channel, that link is just down there in the description. Well, sadly, we got quarterfinaled in the Campionito Paulista Sicredi this year by Grêmio, which is very, very annoying. I'm not sure if I'm very, very confused or what's happened, but we come third in the league, and then things went into a group stage as well, which I'm awfully confused about because I've got no idea how this really works, to be honest. It's a very confusing system. I'm not sure if it's just changed this year or if you get into a group within the whole thing. It's very, very, very confusing. But it looks like the final was won by Sao Paulo on penalties, so they've now won it in back-to-back years. We're going to lift this trophy at some point, and we'll figure out how it works. Marcos Leonardo was fantastic this season, as was Soteldo with the highest average rate, and then Piatti as our best assist man as well. So a very, very good showing again. I mean, the third place again is great. I need to learn how it actually works. Of course, this was also our first season back in the top tier of Brazil, in the Brasileiro SI Serie A, and we come in 12th place, which for me is an absolute W because it means we're in the Comebol Sudamericana next year, which is brilliant because we are back in a continental competition in our first season back in the top flight. It's not the greatest season of all, 52 points, a -2 goal difference, and a lot of teams here in Brazil get put into continental competitions. The top six get in the Libertadores, and the other 6 go into the Sudamericana, so it's a bit like the Champions League as the Libertadores and the Sudamericana as the Europa League. Apologies for the phone call, but we are sitting in 12, which was a very, very good first season, one that I'm very, very happy with as well. Like I said, the squad itself again progressing really, really nicely in terms of selection info, people scoring the goals. No surprise, Marcos Leonardo is an absolute bagsman. 30 goals and 6 assists here in Brazil, absolutely smashing it. Ed Carlos, who is a 24-year-old central attack midfielder, 16 goals and 12 assists. Cheers, Big Ed. You done very, very well. Jair, with that ridiculous jump and reach, scored another 8. Soteldo, 8 and 15. PRT, 7 and 15. Nathan with 5 and 12, and eventually just overall a very, very good second season here in Brazil. But it doesn't even finish there because we've done the unthinkable and we have won a second trophy already. In the final against Sao Paulo, we won the Copa Betano de Brazil, a 4-2 win in the game, meaning on penalties we went ahead and beat Sao Paulo. Vinicius, Sanchiolo and Jair with the goals, Beraldo for Sao Paulo, but that did not matter as we lifted a trophy here in Santos, the cup here in Brazil, an absolutely massive achievement, which means in the second season we've already won a major Brazilian competition. In the first season we got promoted back while winning the league, so I'd say this rebuild is going very, very well. The finances here, like I said, are going to continuously go up because we cannot spend the money they are giving us because, believe it or not, finding under 18-year-olds that are worth a lot of money that are willing to come to Brazil is quite difficult. So the money's going to stack up, the wonder kids are going to keep being produced, and this rebuild is going to be great fun. So let's get into the start of season 3. Well, similar to last season, just the one wonder kid is going to come in, and that's Diego Shukpial. And this guy might be the last guy we see coming in to the team. He's got 18 determination, 14 heading, 14 marking, 13 tackling, 15 jump and reach, decent enough pace and strength. And by last guy, I mean coming to the team, the last real person joining the club, because after this it is going to be Regen Central. We have also signed a Regen, which is going to come in on the 1st of August. That is Mustafa Khalid from Ghazal El Malala in, where are these from? Egypt, which is obviously a very cool place to get someone from. He looks very good attacking right back, and as you've seen from our formation, we like an attacking right back, so hopefully he's going to come in and progress very nicely indeed. The team is looking again very, very strong this year. Let me pick out the best 11 so we can see who's going to come into this team. João Paulo in goal, Nathan at right back, Jair and Nascimento at centre back with Kevison at left back, Sandri and Zanocchiolo in midfield of Piatti, Ed Carlos, Soteldo, and Marcos Leonardo is still here. He is again unhappy and wanted by lots and lots of clubs. Well, this time just Red Bull in Brazil, but until there's a European club or someone takes him off our hands, Marcos is staying. Now this year we are in obviously our incredibly strange state competition, which has definitely changed since season 1, which is why I'm confused. The Brasileiro Serie A, which we are still in. The Libertadores, which for some reason we are in. I'm guessing because we've won the top division cup, so maybe that got us into the the Libertadores. We're in the Copa Betano de Brazil, which obviously we won last year, and it would be great to go back-to-back in, and the Super Copa de Brazil as well, which you are against Flamengo in just a few days' time. So very, very fun. Lots going on, 5 competitions, lots of wonder kids going through. I need to bring you back halfway through to see how we're getting on in our group stage of the Libertadores, the state competition in the Sicredi, and the Super Copa de Brazil. A 96th minute JP Shermont goal gives it 3 trophies in 3 years here at Santos. A final victory in our state championships against Corinthians is absolutely huge. We've already ticked off 3 boxes. We've ticked off the cup, the second tier of Brazil, and the state championship, meaning we need to win the Libertadores and the top tier of Brazil until we can finish this rebuild, which is hopefully going to be within the 5-year limit. But a fantastic third season already is underway. We're only in the middle of the season in April. The Super Copa de Brazil, we might as well try and tick that one off as well. We lost 2-0 in this one to Flamengo, and again, this Flamengo team is ridiculous. Now Samuel Lino is here from Atletico Madrid. Pedro is one of the best Brazilian strikers on the game, and I sign him a hell of a lot. He is here and looking fantastic, as is Jorge de Arrascaeta, who is an unbelievable Uruguayan count. If you've played FM, you've signed him, you've viewed him. Danilo from Nottingham Forest is also here, and I mean, they're just absolutely ridiculous, and they have won this competition a hell of a lot, and we need to try and stop that Flamengo dominance. It'd be nice to win it ourselves, but very happy with how things are going. The Libertadores, we are top of our group stage currently. We're against Barcelona. Not the Barcelona, that is the Colombian, Ecuadorian Barcelona, not Colombian, sorry, who are sitting second on 4. Cielo Portero in third, and Comiciates from Peru in bottom place. But hopefully get out of the group stage of the Libertadores as well. The Brasileiro kicks off in just a few days, and the Super Copa, obviously, we ended up losing, but very successful middle of the season number 3. The one thing I missed out on when showing you the middle of the season 3 is Marcos Leonardo has left us to Palmeiras, which means they triggered his release clause, and I had absolutely no say on what he was doing. So for this whole season and for that whole campaign in the state championships, we didn't even have Marcos Leonardo, and we still won it. So you know what, Marcos? Enjoy yourself at Palmeiras. You're absolutely useless and no one cares about you. But we move on from Marcos Leonardo to show you another 2 signings that I have made over the meantime of this season going on. We have signed in Matias Oliveira from Racing Club, and how good does he look? 17 flair, 18 dribbling, 16 first touch, 16 technique, 15 determination. Looks like an absolutely unbelievable striker sign for just £4.5 million. And Mustafa Khalid is now here at the club as well, which is absolutely brilliant to see. He's gone back out on loan in Egypt, which is fine for him to go ahead and do. Lucas Braga has also left, as well as Mateus Nunez and Joao Victor Bilal at the start of this season. But that is us all caught up in terms of transfers. Marcos Leonardo, you're a snake. Go and enjoy yourself in Palmeiras, because we are above Palmeiras, and we did a fantastic season this season, finishing 6th in the league, winning. We're again qualified for the Conmebol Libertadores. Palmeiras of Marcos Leonardo are in 8th, and they're our new rivals. So we're going to be keeping an eye on them and make sure we outdo Marcos Leonardo, who left his boyhood club Santos to Palmeiras. So yeah, we'll get them straight in the bin. An 8 goal difference, 14 losses, 7 draws, and 17 wins. A very, very impressive season. Again, just our 2nd season in the top tier of Brazil since promotion. Obviously, we won our state championships we know about. Libertadores, we were quarter-final by Botafogo, who finished 1 point above us in the league. They managed to get knocked out in the semis to Athletic Mineiro, and you can see the Brazilian dominance in the Libertadores, because Brazil is the best league in here by far. But Atletico Paranaense, we were knocked out in the Betano de Brazil as well. So just the one trophy this year, our state championships, but something that was very, very nice to get ticked off the list indeed. In terms of players that are developing, now that Marcos Leonardo has gone, it means our goals are coming from elsewhere. Rodrigo Cesar is a 20-year-old left winger / striker who has now come into the team to be our hero. 19 goals this season, 13 finishing, 16 off the ball work, 15 determination. Looks brilliant. So Celdo is still here, 18 and 14, and Swaza, that young little left winger that started out, is now a bagsman. 15 goals and 12 assists in 67 appearances is very, very impressive. So welcome, Swaza. He is now on the scene and doing bits. Patati is still here, as well as our right winger, looking brilliant. 11 goals and 9 assists. Bernardo, who again is through the Santos Academy, 9 goals and 7 assists, looks brilliant. Jair, 66 games, 8 goals, 16 assists from Nathan as well, is absolutely outrageous. and our goalkeeper João Paulo is still here. 69 games this season is absolutely outrageous, but big respect to him indeed in terms of the reports as well. Again, to show you we are making this a wonder kid team. We are progressing very well. The age profile of this club is now an absolute joke. We've got João Paulo at 31, Soteldo at 29, Nascimento 27, Reece at 26, Zacchiolo, Nathan and Ed Carlos at 25, and after that it's all under 24s, which is ridiculous. And of course the under 20s is going crazy as well. So many wonder kids coming through. Reserves are also being very, very strong indeed. Lots of players which we're trying to sell eventually go down into here, and I try and get rid of them. But it's a strong, strong squad. The finances, again, ridiculous. 38 million to spend if I wanted to, and £600,000 in wage budget. I mean, there's probably a chance and a universe where I could just get Neymar back to the club, who's now at Al Gharafa. I guarantee you we could pay his wages 92k. We could easily bring him back. I'm not going to, due to it being a Wonder Kid rebuild. But if you guys want to pick this up at the end of season 3, rather than start season 1 or season 5, want to bring back Neymar, let me know. If you do start up on Patreon, I can give that to you guys via email as well. But we'll get into things now. Season 4, I feel like we need to now maybe progress into the top 3 of the top tier of Brazil, get close to Corinthians and Flamengo to see if the end of by season 5 we can somehow win it. So let's get into it. The start of season 4. What signings can we make to progress us that next level? Right, well, some more sales have gone underway. Vinicius Sanchiolo has left the club to Al Fatah, which you cannot really blame him for. He's now got a value of £40 million and is going to go and earn £50,000 a week over at Saudi. So congratulations, Vinicius. You've probably got the dream at the moment. You're going to go and enjoy your football with lots and lots of money. Ed Carlos has left to Cruzeiro. Absolute snake. £3.5 million. He is at the door. And Rodrigo Cesar, who I was bigging up last season to be an absolute hero, has left to Atletico Goianiense for £3.5 million. And quite frankly, I couldn't care less about this guy anymore because he has just left us in the dirt yet again. Daniel Aguiar is our first signing from Real Santander. He looks like a very good young striker, great determination, finishing and pace looks very decent as well. Bruce Davids is a free signing from Bitang Lahir, who are in Suriname, and he looks absolutely ridiculous. And from the scouting that I showed you guys a few weeks back on the Sunday, check that out on the channel. Bruce Davids, you find players like this all around the place, and he looks absolutely outrageous and is hopefully going to be fantastic for us. Some great potential, and from the Surinamese league, which is ridiculous. Determination, work rate and teamwork is simply ridiculous. So we're going to try and get him out on loan. And Ahmad Sanusi is a £1.2 million goalkeeper we've brought in from the Nigerian league, so again looks brilliant and is hopefully going to go ahead and be a fantastic goalkeeper for us over the years. But obviously we couldn't just do that and not recruit anyone from our youth academy. So as we look through our team, João Paulo in goal, 31 years of age, but Nathan at 25, Jair and Diego Shaquiapel as the two centre-backs, of Keviason as the left-back. Rafael Santos is a brand new central midfielder that's come through the academy. He is now 2.5-star ability, 5-star potential, 19 aggression, 8 determination, great work rate and agility as well, and is hopefully going to go on to be an absolute stud for us. He played a bunch of games last season as well, 49 appearances, and hopefully going to be a top player for us this year. In midfield next to him will most likely be one of either Samson Okoro or Sandri. Samson Okoro is someone again that's come through the academy, Nigerian central midfielder, 18 first touch, 16 determination and 17 passing. Looks simply ridiculous. So Samson Okoro, we could see him midfield next to Rafael Santos or Sandri, of course, as well. We've also got Thomas Dietz here still at the club. Pitati is at the right wing. Bernardo in cam instead of Ed Carlos, and Suaza as our left winger, with Mateus Riviera, the Argentinian striker we signed last season, as our brand new striker to replace the snake that just left, and the snake Marcos Leonardo that left just before that as well. So a brand new, young, exciting team. Gabriel Ramirez is another young goalkeeper that's come through the academy. Ladilio Freitas Azevedo, again, another youngster that's come through. Ricardo, Alex Nascimento, João Maria, Sandri, Samson Okoro, Jemison Toloi has been here since season 1. Thomas Dietz, Yerson Soteldo, Lucas Toscasano, Adamilson Barorio, Murilo, Jan Codiero, and Mustafa Khalid are all people that have come through the academy. It's pretty crazy the amount of unbelievable wonder kids which we're going to have to try and balance to play in games this season. I mean, for example, we've not even spoken about Ricardo, who's a 16-year-old centre-back with 18 determination, ridiculous defensive stats, and could possibly be starting by the end of this season. We've got a 16-year-old goalkeeper, again, who looks ridiculous. Jemison Toloi, again, is progressing so well as a right winger, and he just might not even get any game time, but we're going to be trying. We've got a lot of people going out on loan as well. Lots of people in the reserves that look ridiculous. I mean, Sanusi's 5-star potential. The under 20s, again, have got so many players here which are ridiculous. Gustavo, Marcos Villalba, Thomas Dietz, Murillo, Ronnie Benitez, Maxwell, players that aren't even in the first team. They just look ridiculous. So season 4, we've got a bunch of trophies to go ahead and win. Let's again see if we can go back-to-back in our state championship. And yes, indeed, we can. And guess who it was against? It was against Palmeiras. So Marcos Leonardo take that. Esteval scored to make it 1-0 for Palmeiras before we got a nice double in the second half. Ball drops to Lenin. Patati makes it 1-1 in the 65th minute. And just 3 minutes after that, another set piece. Lateldo, Jair, Suaza, 2-1. The Santos Academy has done it. Marcos Leonardo, I can't even see you in there, teammate. You're that bad. See you later. There you are, actually. And you did 6.3 because you're scared of your old club, Santos. So big up the Santos boys. We've got ahead and silenced Marcos Leonardo and silenced the critics. And we have won our little sort of trophy again, which is great to see. The Libertadores, again, is going fantastic. We're top of the group. We have beat El Equidad, Deportivo La Guaria, and Vélez currently in our group. The league starts in just a few days, and the Campeonato de Brazil starts soon. Samson Okoro from the academy had a ridiculous time in that sort of state championships. 12 starts, 10 goals, and 6 assists in central attack midfield is absolutely ridiculous. 17 passing, 18 first touch. He was a creative genius and a goal scoring genius as well. So the squad is looking great, and we've got players from all over the place scoring lots of goals and developing very nicely. Patati, Soteldo, Rafael Santos from DM has got 6 goals in 7 games and looks simply ridiculous at 17 years of age. Suaza from the start is looking brilliant, 4 goals, 2 assists, and again, lots of goals being scored from absolutely everywhere, and I'm very happy with the start of our season. Can we put it into the league and see if we can win the top tier of Brazil in season 4? Not quite, but some very, very good progression. We have come 4th in the table, 65 points, which is 17 off top spot Gramao, but we are progressing very, very well. Given the fact we have lost a lot of our superstar players, that hasn't seemed to matter. We have replaced them with wonder kids. We have developed them by giving them game time, and we are progressing very, very nicely as a club. And I believe by the end of next season, we could be lifting the Compitano Brasileiro Assai Serie A. In the Libertadores as well, I believe we can beat this as well. Semi-final by Botafogo, which is heartbreak because they come 3 points behind us this season, and they lost in the final to, of course, Flamengo, who are just simply ridiculous. But they're not very good in the league. I don't know where they are. They're 6th in the league, but in competitions they tend to absolutely smash it. The Copa Betano de Brazil, we ended up losing this as well in the 4th round, and Flamengo won that again. So Flamengo are the team to try and catch in cup competitions. Gramao are the team to catch in the league, and Matias Riviero, our signing from Racing Club, was fantastic this season. 19 dribbling, 17 flair, 16 natural fitness, 16 technique. I want to use this guy in my saves going forward for the rest of the year. He looks outrageously good, and I genuinely think I'm going to play this Santos rebuild after I've finished the video, just to have some fun in Season 6, because some of these Wonder Kids looks absolutely ridiculous. I bet they're great fun to play with as well. You might see that on stream this week, to be fair, because I want to play with this Santos team. It looks like great fun. If you've not seen the streams, they will be linked down in the description as well. We stream 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Feel free to come over and watch them as well. A cheeky little Twitch plug getting in there as well. But of course, we've got lots of other players that were doing fantastic. Patati, Soteldo, Samson Okoro, Suaza, Bernardo, Rafael Santos, Jair, Nathan Nascimento, Jan Cordero, Diego Shakipau, Sandri, Bruce Davis, Mario Keviason. All the boys are looking fantastic, and guess what? There's more Wonder Kids that are coming through, and it's just a complete conveyor belt of disgustingness. I mean, Gustavo now looks like he could be the one to come in and just absolutely tear up Season 5. 20 determination, 15 pace, 15 acceleration. Yeah, we're going to see how good this guy could potentially be finances-wise. They're looking ridiculous. Lots of money to spend, which we can't spend. So, which is fun because we're just building a ridiculous club. But it would be great to maybe bring in someone like Neymar, or, you know, someone ridiculous. I mean, someone to come back in and just work absolute wonders for us. It would be great to see. But for now, that is it for Season 4. Season 5, we'll see what signs we can make. See who's going to be the superstar of Season 5. See if any one of us unbelievable wonder kids leave us. Maybe Matias Rivero is going to follow in Leonardo's path and leave us, or maybe he's learnt that if you play at Santos, you beat Leonardo. So we'll see for season 5. Well, Nathan got the memo of not staying in Brazil, because if you stay in Brazil and you leave Santos, things go down here for you. If you go over to Saudi, I'm not going to berate you at all. Nathan, £7 million has left the club, which means there's another player to try and replace. He was absolutely fantastic, and I fully recommend anyone sort of looking at the lower Premier League, or maybe any of your lower Spanish leagues or lower top divisions or upper second tier, signing someone like Nathan could be very, very good for you at the start. He is very, very cheap. We're like £2.5–3 million. So maybe try and bring in a man like Nathan. First season on loan at Famalicão in Portugal. So maybe someone to look out for you. Big Nathan, as the right back, has left the club, and we've spent that money, £3 million of it anyway, on some wonder kids, of course. Anias Basuhu has come in to kick things off from OC Safi. They are in the Moroccan League, and again, found from our ridiculous scout methods, which you should find on the channel. 18 years of age, looks fantastic. £500,000 we spent on him. Romar Barreto is a winger with 17 finishing, 16 determination, and great pace, who I think might take the club and score lots of goals this season, because he looks simply ridiculous, doesn't he? Facundo Otero is a backup left back that's come in. Again, looks absolutely brilliant. Some great potential. David Maseko from Cape Town City looks absolutely brilliant as a right back as well, and is going to come in to replace Nathan and be our superstar right back, signed from South Africa. How ridiculous is that? Taufik Santiago was a free transfer that's coming as well as a striker, who again looks brilliant with some fantastic potential, and we just burst into the seams of wonder kids. We've got nowhere to put them anymore. They're just everywhere. They're just infecting the whole club of wonder kids. That's the reserves and the under 18s I just showed you. The first team is exactly the same. 5 stars everywhere. Everyone you see here, other than Swaza, is below 20 years of age, down to Diego Chacapel. Ridiculous how much potential is at this club. And as we go through the teams, João Paulo is still in goal, Maseko at right back, Ricardo and Cher at centre back with Keviason, Sandri, Santos, Batati, Okoro, Swaza and Riviero make up our superstar studded team to see if we can lift every single trophy possible. The State Championship, the Sicredi, the Serie A, the Libertadores and the Copa Betano de Brazil. I want to win it all for season 5. And I bring you back here at the end of season 5 with the Cup competition up first, and our first trophy ticked off in this season. We go 1-up from a Ger header. That guy's heading is absolutely ridiculous. Before we do make it 1-0, Cap with the goal. Azevedo plays the ball inside to Santos, who puts it into Suarez on the left-hand side to make it 2-1. And we're going to go ahead and win this game on penalties, which is an absolutely fantastic result. Keviason on the left-hand side is going to pull this back into Santos again, gets a shot in. What a finish that is, before they score again to make it 3-2, which pushes it to penalties. Almqvist goes through, plays a ball through. I mean, he looked about 10 yards offside. That's disgusting. Match fixing in Brazil. Basso with the first penalty, saved by João Paulo. And I believe after that, Riviero scored. And the things went on, and we won the penalty shootout, which was absolute scenes, and it means we have lifted the first trophy. Like I said, a 4-3 victory on penalties, which is simply fantastic. And great to tick off the Copa Betano de Brazil in the final season. Now, in terms of the sort of state championship, the Campeonato Paulista Sicredi, we faced Corinthians in the final, and guess what? We went ahead and lifted that as well. Means a double has been secured already. Gabriel Moscardo for Corinthians scored before Matias Riviero got things underway with 1-1, and an Ivan own goal made us 2-1 winners, and we were 2 trophies from 2 to kick things off, which is absolutely beautiful to see. Now, in terms of the continental competitions, we haven't won one of them yet until now. We've got Internacional in the final, a Brazilian final, and we've gone ahead in the 120th minute and scored to lift the Copa Libertadores, which is fantastic. Toscano with the goal, who I believe is through the academy. Let me just check. He is indeed from the 26-28. A striker that looks fairly average, scoring in the final. That's an absolute story, which we love to see. 20 appearances and a goal for him. Just 4 starts all season, but scores the biggest goal of his career in the Libertadores final for absolute scenes to make it a treble already. And guess what? It's not going to finish as a treble. It's going to finish as a quadruple. 77 points, top of the Brasiliano SA Serie A. We have rebuilt Santos, lifting every single trophy by the end of season number 5. And Gustavo has come in this season with 25 goals in 39 games at 18 years of age. the most determined goal-scoring striker I've ever seen, and I'm going to have to play some of this Santos on a stream or on my own personal time because it looks so fun. The players scoring goals are just all through the academy or players we have signed for ridiculously cheap. So Gustavo, Matias Riviero, Suazo, who's been here from the start, is Santos through and through at this point. What an absolute legend. 14 and 9. Rafael Santos 9 and 6. Yeah, 9 and 4. Kleber 9 and 12. Have we even touched on Kleber? Probably not. He's probably from the academy as well. Great acceleration, determination, pace, finishing's naff, but he's great at everything else and he scores lots of goals. Bernardo 6 and 7. 4 and 9 for David Masieko at right back. Bruce Davies, the Suriname midfielder, again was absolutely fantastic and signed for free from the Suriname League. Ridiculous how we managed to find players like that, and we have just finished off the end of season 5, the most ridiculous rebuild I have done to date here with Santos, recently relegated to the second tier of Brazil. In just 5 years, we have turned this club into one of the richest clubs in the world while also lifting every single trophy available to us. If this is your first time on the channel and you've not seen any rebuilds, we rebuilt Girona down there and it was absolutely fantastic.